Hey, welcome to Say So Because It Matters. I'm your host, Maxetta Gad, and I'm always super stoked that you're here with me. And that is the truth. When someone decides to hit play and listen to me ramble for 20 or 30 minutes, much gratitude to you. I'm glad you're here. If you're new around these parts, thanks for being here. I hope you're a regular. I try to be here on Thursdays, but sometimes it's Fridays. It depends on how life's. So hit the little bell. That will give you a notification of when I post something, but you have to be subscribed first. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead. It's easy. It's a super easy process. And listen, there's some more cool stuff coming. I have some stuff up my sleeve, and it'll be coming out pretty soon. So in the meantime, I'm glad you're here. And if you're a regular, thank you. Thank you so much for believing in this community. It means more to me than you'll ever know. I'm in my kitchen today. So I'm not in the car. I'm not in my bedroom. I'm in my kitchen. In my evening attire. This is a shirt from the beach. I'm one of those people, like, you know that phrase when they're like, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I for real do get the t-shirt. Like, I love t-shirts. That is me to a T, let's say. Figure we're all friends in this community, so come on in. I have so many thoughts going on right now. I'm going to try to bring them in. But one thing I want to follow up on from last week is I didn't get to watch the Sherry Papini interview. I'm so bummed. Super, super bummed. But I tried very hard. I went to like every service I could find, and the streaming service that it's on, you have to pay for. And so sometimes I can do those free trials and get in a bunch of interviews that I like to watch. This was not one of those times, and I wasn't willing to pay. I looked at some different platforms, couldn't find it, so I just went back to the old TikTok, pulled up as much of it as I can, and I think I've watched about all of it. I think so, in clips. It'll eventually move to YouTube. I mean, it might be a while, might be a year, but it'll be on here eventually. So here's what I know about Sherry Papini. Remember I told you she went missing for a while? I think it was in 2016. She actually was missing for 22 days. She was a mom, just vanished one day. Now you'll hear some like sarcasm in my voice. It's because she's a liar, pants on fire. It didn't happen. What a terrible thing to do. Anyways, she was gone, so there was this big search for her. Of course, nothing turned up. Of course, they kind of questioned and thought about the spouse, which normally that's who it is. I mean, that's sad to say, but a lot of times that's the case. Well, it wasn't in this one. And then just out of nowhere, after 22 days, she broke free from her captors, and then, she was found. And anyway, she did have some physical marks that indicated she was beat up or hurt in some way. She even was branded. Remember we talked about that? So she said that the people that took her did that. Anyways, it came out all a big fib-a-bib. Just a fib-a-bib. I mean, none of it happened. She lied about all of it. So she was sentenced. There were criminal charges pressed, and appropriately so. I mean, that is correct, because it was a huge manhunt. There was lots of media coverage, and a lot of expense went out looking for her. And she had fibbed. She lied. She just lied. And I loved that the producer of this interview called her out on that multiple times. She was like, "You are a convicted liar. You have been convicted of lying. You are a liar. Why should we believe you now?" Anyways, it was the clips that I watched. Gosh. So that Sherry Papini now blames an ex-boyfriend and says that he abducted her, and he caused all the physical injuries. Now, after it happened and had just came out, she said, she was having an affair with the ex-boyfriend. Anyways, had a fling-a-ding for 22 days and then decided, I guess I better go back to my family. Now she is saying that he did this, and who knows? Who knows what to believe? I don't know. But I do know this. I didn't get to watch the interview, but I watched enough of it that'll satisfy me for a while. So anyways, I'm getting ready to have a sausage biscuit. Let me show you these biscuits. I'm not a big biscuit fan. I'm a bread fan. I love me some bread. But biscuits there's really only a few that I like. I liked my mom's, she called them Poor Man's biscuits. Some people call them drop biscuits. I like Terry Mullins. She makes some killer buttermilk biscuits. Big, they're good. But my mother-in-law also, she comes in pretty clutch. She makes me some good biscuits. Now, truth be known, she makes these for Rye. They're his favorite. He loves biscuits and jelly, loves them. And there's plenty for him. He's had some, then he can have some more. I'm gonna have one with some sausage that my hubs fried earlier in the day, and that's what I'm having for supper. So I thought, well, while I'm making supper, we can just chat it on up. We can just chat it on up together. Listen, if you can see my stove, I don't know if you can see it or not, you will notice that I haven't wiped it off yet. No, I haven't. It's okay. That happens. When you use an appliance, sometimes it gets dirty. And you'll eventually wipe it off. Before we go to bed tonight, it'll be wiped off. Normally, whoever's using it does that right after they use it, but we got into a couple of projects and we'll get back to it. Have I been on here since the Highlander baseball team went to Charleston? I don't know, but clap, clap, applaud, applaud. Fantastic. They made school history in winning at the regionals and getting to go to Charleston to compete. They didn't win in Charleston, but that's okay. They made it there. They were the first team to ever make it there. So that's awesome. So those kids got to have that experience. And there's so much more to going to states than just the actual event. I mean, there is such a good time to be had. And the whole county gets hyped up, and they did for this, baseball team. And, you have like the little parade when they're leaving, the send-off. And anyways, if you're a parent of one of those boys, pat them on the back for me, because that was phenomenal. It's great. I think I'll heat my biscuit up just a touch, a little bit, not too much. Okay, here's what's been on my mind. Oh gosh. I got to think about how to tell stories and leave like identifying information out, because I don't want to like call anybody out or cause any hurt feelings or anything like that. I don't. That's not my intent. Side note, I'm going to put some cheese on this. Ooh, don't we love cheese on everything? Might have to heat it back up just a touch. Anyways, let's get back to the story at hand without revealing the situation. I'm not saying I have this perfected. I am saying, though, I try to be intentional about being positive. Like in a situation, when faced with adversity, I just try very hard to find something good and magnify that good. That doesn't mean that the bad isn't happening. It just means I'm not going to let it control me. I'm not giving it all my attention. I'm not going to cause it to make me mad or full of fear. So I try to find something good. That doesn't always happen. I'm not saying I always do it. That doesn't always happen. But my intent is usually there. Have you ever been around someone, though, that's the opposite of that? That they complain easily, freely, as much as possible about everything. I think we all have. The thing is, when someone is just constantly complaining about something, whether it be in a meeting or like part of your family or whatever, I mean, just if they're part of the same group, whatever group you might be in, or whatever the people and situation happens to be, sometimes some people, it's just their nature is to fault find or to complain. Like just complain. Listen, I'm going to tell you what that reminds me of when people are like that. And there are times I've been like that. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. There are times I have been that person. When you use a straw in a drink, Pepsi, are you shocked? So when you use a straw, eventually, after a while, this will be empty. One of the saddest sounds in the world. I'm just kidding. But anyways, you'll drink and you'll drink. You suck that Pepsi up, suck, suck, suck. Some of you, water, lemonade, tea, whatever. So you're sucking that liquid up. You're sucking it up. Now, it's not often that I do like a big long drink. Sometimes I do, but usually it's just some drinks throughout the activity, throughout the evening. You know what that complainer of the group reminds me of? It's like they take a straw to the atmosphere, whatever the atmosphere may be. Again, a meeting, in a car, in a room, at dinner, whatever. So they take that straw and any good, happy, joy, laughter, like positivity, possibility, enjoyment, just anything that might put a little pep in your step. It's like they have a straw and they're just sucking it out of there like, with every complaint. So, gosh, I don't know how to make this make sense. Well, that's it. Like, okay, so here's an issue that needs resolved, okay? Here's the issue that needs resolved. And instead of looking at, okay, here's what we have to work with. So here are a few things that work in this situation. Or here's some good in this situation, right? No, they automatically take out their straw and they start sucking the potential right out of it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that'll never work. Well, they should have already had that done. I've told him about that 4 times. We need a new form. This is never going to work. We're 50 minutes late. Blah, 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 blah. You get it. It's just a constant complaining. After a while, complaining does literally suck the life right out of you. I mean, it becomes, if you watch people that are complainers and when there's complainers around or one that's very vocal and just absolutely set on complaining and not being part of the resolution or part of, pulling any good potential out of a situation, like it literally makes you even slump. You just get like, it's heavy. That constant complaining is heavy. My goodness sakes. So when that happens, it just brings everybody and the whole situation down. Again, I'm not saying don't point out a problem. Yeah, here's a problem. Now, how can we solve it? Okay, this happened. How can we solve it? Even in the hardest, darkest of times, I try to stir up something good. And again, I'm not saying I hit it every time, but something good. Sometimes you stir it up through tears, through like if you're mad about it. Sometimes you really have to dig and search. But once you find something good, something to build on, magnify that. Make that bigger than the complaint or the problem and start speaking that. Start sharing that. Just as complaining is contagious, so isn't praising contagious. So isn't joy. So isn't pointing out the good. So isn't flipping the script to, hey, how can we fix this? Those are contagious also. Just be loud and be repetitive with them. People will jump on board. You'll get a little slack. You will get a little slack about it. But listen, while you're getting that slack, y'all can laugh together. It's lighter. It's just such a more pleasant environment to be in. It really is. Again, I will tell you, because I know that there's people I know personally that watch some of my videos. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. It means more to me than really you'll ever know. You have probably seen me at times be the complainer. Be the one exhausted with the situation. Be the one just, not even finding the good. That's true. That's true. Those times do surface. I realize from those times, though, how much more it would have benefited me and anyone else involved in the situation if I would have flipped the script and just started looking for the good, calling out the good, focusing on the good, striving towards the good. Again, it doesn't mean that the problem doesn't exist or the hurt isn't there. It just means it doesn't get to control you. It doesn't get to have the final say. Let's go. Let's do what isn't within our control to be positive. I'm hesitant to use that word because sometimes there's such a spin on it. I shared with you not long ago, a couple of people had talked to me about possibly having toxic positivity. There's nothing toxic. Toxic is poison. There's nothing poisonous about the positivity I have. Again, it's the joy of the Lord when you start to see things through the lens of, okay, here's some potential. Here's some good. Let's go. I think we can do this. When you begin to see things like, okay, that happened. I can't go back. Let's move on and make the best out of what we have. There's nothing toxic or poisonous about it. That is actually life-giving. Like, that's the direction you want to go. That's where you want to set your thoughts, set your sights, right? So, we were talking about a straw. I got my biscuit done. Look. Ooh, she looks good, doesn't she? Getting ready. I don't want to eat on camera. I mean, we're close, but I don't know if we're there yet, because sometimes I can be a messy eater. Listen, so let's get back to our drink. So I was thinking about the drink. They suck it out. Like, no, we can't do that. When is that going to change? I mean, they're constantly. So eventually the cup's empty. And that's pretty much how complainers leave a situation. You leave either the people like empty and deflated, and you leave with no solution. And honestly, sometimes I wonder if like I'm talking about people who honestly always complain. Do they live a life empty? I mean, really, like, whoa. So when we're talking about the straw and the drink, and you suck that drink dry, and when you constantly complain about that or speak unwholesome talk, or you speak like derogatory, negative talk, that just sucks that situation dry. It sucks you dry and other people dry. Well, then I started thinking about, because I've been thinking about this for a few weeks. I've had to travel quite a bit for work. I love it too. I love it. And normally when I travel, you've got to know, if there's a McDonald's, then I've went through and got a large Coke Light Ice. If there's not a McDonald's, then I hit a Go Mart and I cash in my free pop. So I'll have one or the other with me. I know there's room for improvement there. Thank you. That's between me and the Lord. Thank you. Let's carry on. So I was thinking about my granddaughter. She doesn't drink pop, but she'll put juices and water. And when she sees us, especially me, Chris drinks his out of a can, with a cup with a drink in it with straws, she wants one. So we'll put like juice, whatever, water, her chocolate milk, sometimes white milk. She's not a big white milk drinker. Very, very, very seldom does she take a drink of white milk. At least, while she's here. Anyways, when she first started learning how to drink out of a straw, you have to learn that you have to suck to get it out. Well, she'd blow. And what happens when you blow into your liquid? You make bubbles, right? It makes bubbles. One of the funniest things that I've seen her do is when she discovered that. So she was blowing in it. Of course, I'd make a big deal. Oh, look at those bubbles. Look. And she'd just cackle and her eyes would get real big. And I'm not sure at first. No, she was very young. I'm not sure at first that she realized like she was making the bubbles, So cute. But I started thinking about those bubbles. And when she has bubbles outside, that we play with, when those bubbles hit a surface, like when the bubbles from this drink come against the side of the cup or any surface, it splats, it pops, doesn't it? And normally when they pop, there's some splat to it. And what happens when it splats? It spreads a little bit. How about we blow some bubbles of positivity? Let's blow some bubbles of calling out the good, magnifying the good, seeing the good, being encouragers and spreaders of hope. How about we do that? As we do that out our mouth, it splats and it'll spread. It will spread. It will encourage others. It'll bring some joy to the situation. Maybe even bring you to the solution, or at least get you on the path to the solution. It just makes things lighter. Again, it doesn't mean that the problem doesn't exist. It doesn't mean the wrong wasn't done. It doesn't mean the hurt's not there. It doesn't mean it's going to make everything better. But it does mean it's lighter to carry. It really does. Let me share this with you. Let me grab it real quick. So I didn't bring my Bibles in the kitchen, but I wrote down a few notes I want to share with you. In Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, from the New King James Version, it says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Those who love it will eat its fruit. Now, you know, sometimes I use the Message version, and I haven't given the disclaimer in a while. Remember, the Message version is a paraphrase of one fella's view or take, okay? So I use it, I reference it, I look at it, I use it. Remember, I suggest reading the introduction of the Message Bible. It explains how it's supposed to be used. And make sure you have another Bible that's a word for word translation, okay? So anyways, the Message Bible says, words kill, words give life. They're either poison or they're fruit. You choose. I love that. Straight to the point. Words kill, words give life. Words are poison, words are fruit. You choose. Like, no one can force us to say the words coming out of our mouth. We get to choose them. So we can bring forth poison, which people die from poison. Situations die from poison. Hope dies from poison. Life can die from poison. Or we can bring fruit. Fruit is juicy and it's full of nutrients and it fuels our body. It gives life. It's good. It is good for you. Poison kills, right? Poison kills people. Poison kills insects. Poison kills mice. I'm not mad about that. Poison kills. So when our words are bringing forth poison, it's killing. It's killing any hope. It's killing any growth. It's killing any connections. It's killing any flourishing. It kills the mood. It's a complete mood killer too. It brings you down. But it says words give life. Words give life. In the New King James Version, it says death and life are in the power of the tongue. They can bring life to a situation. They bring hope. They bring encouragement. They might bring direction. They can call out good. You choose. You choose. You choose if your words are going to kill and bring poison or give life and bring fruit. Fruit brings nourishment to our body. Fruit hydrates us. Fruit promotes strength. It promotes all the good things that our body needs. It tastes good. It's juicy. Even fruit good fruit is a pretty color. You can spruce up your table. It smells good. Good fruit brings life, right? So I think from all of this, I just want to encourage you that words have power. They have a profound impact. They have a profound impact. And no one can choose your words but you. No one can choose my words but me. And trust me when I say, sometimes I choose the wrong words. On these recordings and on my podcast, I have chosen the wrong words before. That's not my intent or what I want to do, but sometimes it happens. But my intent and what I try to be mindful of is I want to choose the words that bring life. I want to speak life. I want good fruit to be produced from this mouth. Good, juicy, yummy, bright colored fruit to come forth. Let me share this with you. It says that, this is from the New King James Study Bible. This is one of the study notes. It says words are capable of both encouraging and harming. Words are capable of building up or destroying. I think that speaks for itself, right? So what are our words bringing to whatever situation we're in? And it can be in our marriage, parenting, grandparenting, as a worker, in a meeting. It can be in the grocery store, interaction with the bank teller. It can be a parent to teacher, teacher to child. In any situation that words are involved, I encourage all of us. I know I have been doing this and I'm going to continue to do it. I'm going to examine my heart, see what's in there, and make sure that what comes out of my heart is good, nutritious, juicy, life-giving fruit. Because I want to be a spreader of hope, a spreader of encouragement, a spreader of life, a spreader of laughter. So another little part of the study note says, a person's life largely reflects the fruit of his tongue. To speak life is to speak God's perspective on any issue. To speak death is to declare life's negatives. to declare defeat, or to complain constantly. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they who indulge in it shall eat the fruit of it, whether that be for death or for life. So let's choose. Let's choose to be life speakers. Let's spread some hope. I think we can do it. I think if any community can, it's this community, right? So let's get it. Be bubble blowers this week. Blow some bubbles and let them splat everywhere. Let them splat everywhere. We're all doing the best we can in whatever situation we're in. So let's try to make it enjoyable for everyone. That's not compromising who you are. I'm not saying to people, please, anything other than what you have control over and what we can choose. I'm preaching to me too. What we can choose is the words that we speak. We can be positive and uplifting. We can choose to praise instead of complain. We can point out the good, magnify the good, and we can not be part of the bad. Use your straw wisely, folks. All right, listen. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me in my kitchen, in my evening attire, my beach shirt here. So here's what's up. I love spending time with you. You can find me on all the socials, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. TikTok, I'm finding my groove over there. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I'm learning. Facebook is Facebook. Instagram is my favorite place. I hang out in the stories a lot. Snapchat, I'm loving Snapchat a little more. You get me on all of those platforms, but you might get a different version, okay? Like at work, I'm not wearing this outfit, okay? So on Facebook, you get my work clothes outfit. On Snapchat, you get this. You get this outfit, and you just get behind the scenes of my months join together and make wherever we are a better place that's full of life. Again, if you like this and this is your jam, share it on your socials with your friends. And yeah, have a good week. Thanks for being here. And yes, I'm eating my biscuit. Can't talk with my mouth full.